Miss Erin.
My daughter Erin, and behind the camera
Hi.
is my other daughter Erin. And we're coming to you today because I miss you. I miss seeing you at preschool, I miss seeing you at my art classes, and I miss seeing you at Children's Lit. And I wanted to, see you in a way, but also to do something with you that this time of year we would do with you at Children's Lit. Today's Palm Sunday, right? And we usually do this in Children's Lit because usually the Mass is a little longer, we have the time. We make the Easter story cookies. And we've had this recipe, oh my goodness.
A long time.
You guys were like babies. My Aunt Lorette, your great Aunt Lorette, shared this with me, and I do it with the kids, and we have so much fun.
They taste really good.
And they taste good too, so I thought we'd do it with you guys, if that's okay. All right, so let me tell you the ingredients to start with. All right, so to do the Easter cookies, and we'll probably put a link to the recipe too, okay? So you need a cup of pecans, or, because I'm allergic, I can't use pecans, a cup of Cheerios. We're using any kind of a Cheerio or Cheerio-like cookie, cereal.
We're just using the regular ones. You can use cinnamon Cheerios.
That's what I think these are.
Whatever.
Honey nut, yeah, so because we like
Whatever you want.
apple cinnamon ones, yes.
Yeah.
So a cup of those in a baggie. We need a teaspoon of vinegar. So you also need a teaspoon of vinegar, 3 egg whites, a pinch of salt, and a cup of sugar.
And for tools, you're gonna need.
Okay.
For tools, you're gonna need either a rolling pin or a wooden spatula, a medium-sized bowl, a mixer. You can use one of these, or you can use the hand mixers, and a spoon.
And
some tape.
Yep.
And a big pan with wax paper on it.
And
a Bible.
Okay. The way we make the cookies is we're going to add the ingredients, but each of these ingredients represents part of the Easter story. So as we make the cookies, I'm going to read from the Bible the different parts of the story that it represents, okay? So our first part of the story starts with our bag of pecans or Cheerios, okay? And the first part of this recipe is, you ready? Flex your muscles. You ready?
Yeah.
Because you have to beat the Cheerios. And why do you have to beat the Cheerios, Evan?
It's because Jesus got beaten when.
Yes. The first part of our story I'm going to read to you is from John chapter 19, and it's verses 1 through 3. Let me find it. Here it is. Okay, John. All right. And this is the first part of the story. Okay. Then Pilate took Jesus, and he had him beaten. The soldiers made a crown out of thorny branches, and they put it on his head. And then they put a purple robe on him, and it came to him and said, "Long live the King of Jews." And they went up and they spit on it. All right. Those. Use whatever. You just beat it. You beat it, beat it. And so boys and girls, go ahead. At Children's Lit, what we would do is we would all take turns. I don't know if some of you done this with me before, but we would pass the spoon around, and all the kids would get a chance to beat these pecans or Cheerios, right? Into little tiny pieces. That's kind of the favorite part of the story, I think. Don't you think? Do you like that part?
You can use everything.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. The Cheerios are beaten. Next ingredient is this It's a teaspoon of vinegar. And then what I usually do, and I usually would pass it around to all the kids to take a smell, right? Take a big smell of it.
Oh.
What does it smell like? Is it good?
No. No, it's not good.
No, it's kind of soury, right? Like a sour smell.
Yeah.
All right, so let's add the vinegar first into the bowl. And I'm going to read to you from John chapter 19, verses 28 to 30. Jesus knew that by now everything had been completed. And in order to make the scripture come true, he said, I am thirsty. A bowl was there full of cheap wine, and so a sponge was soaked in the wine and put on a stick and lifted up to his lips. Jesus drank the wine and said,
It is finished.
and then he bowed his head and he died. Okay. Now, not necessarily a sad story though, right? Because now we get to add the egg whites. The egg whites. So I want you to add that. Why do we add egg whites, Erin? Do you know why we add egg whites? Do you remember? You've done this. You've done this
Because
a lot.
eggs represent life.
Ah, you're so good. You remember that. That's right. They represent life, and what's special about the Easter story about life? What did Jesus give?
Well, by dying,
He gave up his life,
Yes.
but
He allowed all of us to be able to live in heaven forever.
to have eternal life. So that's really important, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let me read to you from John chapter 10, verses 10 through 11. What is it here? I have come in order that you might have life in all its fullness. Right? Okay. Now, the next part, what I would do is I have all the children hold out your hands, hold out your hands, hold out your hands, and I would sprinkle a little of this into each one's hands, and I'd ask them to guess, sprinkle a little in your hands, and I ask them to guess, what is that? What do you think it is? Take a little taste. Take a little taste. What do you think it is?
I think that's salt.
It is. It's salt. It's salt, right? And so then I, of course, not at this time because we have to be at home and we can't share things, but I'd have them shake that salt into the mix. Did you do that? Yeah. Put it right in. Put a little bit, and I'd have all the kids put a little bit of salt in. Salt represent tears. Tears that Jesus' followers, right? Tears that they shed, that Mary shed. Right now, boys and girls, doesn't it feel like, I mean, I don't know about you, but have you cried a lot this last month while at home? I mean, it hasn't been, I mean, Emily is giving me the big, yes. This has not been an easy time, boys and girls. I know, it's been really hard for you. It's been really hard
You don't
not
get to see
to
your friends.
be at school, not to see your friends, not to have play groups, playtime with your friends, not to play sports with your soccer team or your baseball team or your lacrosse team. It's been okay. Emily's getting really sad right now.
She's
But my cameraman, I'm losing my cameraman. No, come back. It's been really, really hard. But you know what? All of you boys and girls, you guys are superheroes for staying at home and being safe, because you're keeping everybody safe. So all of these tears that we're shedding, you feel it. You feel what Jesus' followers felt, because they cried because they were sad for what was happening.
And it represents the tears, because, you know, your tears are really salty, right?
Tears are salty.
You probably,
Exactly.
you know, got it in your mouth and it's salty.
Exactly. So I'm gonna raise. So we are. No, that's okay. Just put a pinch in. So you just. Did you add a pinch? Add a pinch. Add a pinch. Just a pinch. Okay. And I'd have all the kids add a little pinch. And then I'm gonna read to you from Luke chapter 23, verse 27. Do you want to read it?
All right.
Yeah, it's right here.
Okay.
Large.
A large crowd of people followed him. Among them were some women who were weeping and wailing for him.
Right? They were all crying for Jesus because he was suffering. He was suffering on the cross, and that they loved him so much, and that made them so sad to see him suffering. Now, does this look like an appetizing cookie to you? We've got vinegar, egg whites, salt. I don't know. It looks kind of Not very appetizing to me.
Bleh.
I think we need a little bit of sweetness, right? Let's add sugar. Let's add some sweetness because boys and girls, go ahead, add it in. We need a little sweetness. Just like when Jesus died, we know the Easter story. We know that there's going to be sweetness. We know this whole coronavirus, we're going to come out of it. We're going to come out of it stronger, and we're going to be so happy, just like in Jesus' times, that the suffering that he felt, that his family and his friends and followers felt, we're going to come over it. We're going to overcome this. And so we add the sugar, and I'm going to read to you the sweet part of the story. Okay, this is from John chapter 3, verse 16.
For God loved the world so much that he gave his only Son, so that everyone who believes in him may not die but have eternal life.
That's right. That's the sweet part of the story. Okay. Now, okay. What we're gonna do, are you ready for this? Okay. This is actually kind of the fun part because I always bring this out to children. I don't know if you've done this before with me. Nope, not yet. We're gonna whip this first. We're gonna whip this. And this, the kids usually don't even have never seen one before, but this was my meme's, right? So that's your great-grandmother's. It's really old, but it's really fun to use. It takes a while. But like I said, we're Children's Lit and it's Palm Sunday and we usually have forever anyways. So I give a chance. All the kids get a chance, right, to hold this, and we're gonna whip this mixture you're gonna whip it for a while. We're gonna whip it for like 12 to 15 minutes. So I'm gonna give Aaron a chance here, and maybe Emily whip this for a long time.
This is my workout.
We maybe can take turns. Oh, don't touch the cat, Aaron.
I love my hands.
Go wash your hands. No, get the cat away. Go wash your hands.
That was our cat, Zena.
Your oven to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Oops. I can't get it. Oopsie.
All right. So I'm not gonna lie, that took a long time.
Yes, it did.
But we have beaten this until we get hopefully a stiff peak. I'm a little worried because it's not quite a stiff peak, but we don't have enough egg whites in this time of coronavirus. We're not supposed to go shopping.
That's a stiff peak.
That's pretty good.
I think we're gonna have to go with this. It might not be perfect, but anyways, we're gonna plow through. Okay, so that took a very long time. And if you have ever been to my children's lit downstairs when we do this, we tend to get very messy at that point, right? There have been many times where kids are mixing and splatter all over us, which is kind of like going to the Blue Man Group or something. Can be a little messy, and that's okay. All right, so I am going to put this over here. Don't keep falling the sink. Okay, we got it all over us. That's all right. So now we have our stiff peak meringue, and we are going to fold in the nuts, or for us the Cheerios. So you're going to. So Erin is going to fold in the Cheerios.
Okay, ready?
Yeah. And after the nuts are folded in, I'm going to ask. Okay. I got a little dirty. Look at this. This Amy's all dirty. Okay. Now what we're going to do is you're going to take your cookie sheet and your parchment paper, and you're going to plop little mounds of your cookie right onto the parchment paper. Small, a little bit smaller than that, like a little bit smaller. Yeah. So you're going to do, put mounds in, and this is going to remind us of when they put Jesus's body into the tomb. And I'm going to read to you from Matthew chapter 27, verses 57 to 60. When in the evening Joseph, also a disciple of Jesus, went into the presence of Pilate and asked for the body of Jesus. Pilate gave orders for the body to be given to Joseph. So Joseph took it and wrapped it in new linen sheets and placed it in his own tomb, which he had just recently dug out of solid rock. Then he rolled a large stone across the entrance to the tomb, and he went away. Okay, and so we are making mounds, which in this case are going to represent the tomb of Jesus. Okay, so she's making little mounds. Oh, this might not work, boys and girls, because
I think it will.
You think it will?
I think it will.
Because it looks doesn't look as peaky as it should, but well, we'll just have to make do. Right?
It looks fine to me.
You think it looks okay?
Mhm.
All right. There we go. So we're going to do that. We're making the mounds. In the meantime, we had turned the oven to preheat at 300 degrees, so it's preheating right now. Good job, Erin. All right. Yep.
2 more to go.
2 more. Good job. Okay, so there you go. All right, so now, here we go. All right, okay. Now, here's the fun part. Okay, Erin, you're going to help me. We are going to pretend these are tombs. Okay, we're going to place the tomb in our tomb. Oh, look it. We sprayed our mixture all over our oven. There we go. Okay, so we're going to open the oven door, and Erin is very carefully going to place our tombs into the oven, and we're going to close the door. Now, here's the important part. Okay, we're going to take, Erin, I'm going to have you take some tape. You can use any kind of tape. And we're going to first shut the oven off. And we're going to shut the oven door. Okay, and we're doing this to represent when Jesus went into his tomb. Okay? And I'm going to read from Matthew chapter 27, verses 65 to 66. Take a guard, Pilate told them. Go and make the tomb as secure as you can. So they left, and they made the tomb secure by putting a seal on the stone and leaving the guard on watch. So, boys and girls, all right, we shut off the oven. Oh, you are securing that. Aaron secured the tomb.
All secure.
All right.
The guard.
Oh, my voice did a funny crack. Okay, what are we going to do now? Pretend. You know, a good time to make this, boys and girls, is the night before Easter. We usually do it at Children's. We do it on Palm Sunday. And what we usually do, I know you said Passover, that's okay. What we usually do is we do a little pretend thing, like there's a kitchen in St. Mary's, if you remember, and we bring the kids over and we pretend that it's the next day, and I actually have done it the night before, and I have the finished cookies in the oven, and we open up the tomb, and we pretend to lock it up, and then we open it up, and you'll see. So right now, what I think we'll do, Erin, is I think we will pretend that it is the night before Easter, and we'll go to bed. And we'll come back in the morning, and we'll open it up, and we'll see what we find. Hopefully, it works, and we'll see. Okay?
All right.
All right, so we'll see you in the morning, boys and girls, okay?
All right.
Good morning, boys and girls.
morning.
Good morning, Erin.
Good morning, Mom.
Did you sleep well last night?
I did. Did you?
Yeah, I did. I had a great morning. It's a new day. We picked some beautiful daffodils in our yard yesterday. So, and for the boys and girls watching, maybe it's Easter morning for them. We are making the Easter story cookies, right? I wonder what happened last night while we were in bed. Because if you remember, last night you went to bed, and Erin, you must have been very sad because Erin, you are my sweet tooth. And
I am.
you love cookies.
I wanted to eat those cookies.
And were you like terribly sad to see them in the oven? And we sealed the oven. But guess what we get to do today?
Okay.
Yes, you get to open up the oven. And I'm sure, I'm going to read a little bit from the Bible while you do that. That just to tell you how sad Jesus' followers were when they had to leave Jesus in his tomb and roll and seal the tomb, when they had to leave him there. This is John verse 16, 20, and 22. I am telling you the truth. I will cry and weep, but the world will be glad. And you will be sad, but your sadness will turn into gladness. And that is with you now. You are sad, but I will see you again, and your hearts will be filled with gladness, the kind of gladness that no one can take away from you. So, I think it's time to be filled with gladness. Yes,
all right.
Open up that oven. Okay. Oh, see, some of them rose. We were a little iffy. We weren't sure. Now, boys and girls, some of them look like little cracks. Some of them have little cracks in them.
May I pick one up?
You may. So at this time, boys and girls, during Children's Lit, I go into the oven and I take out the cookies that I had done the night before, and I get all the kids get a cookie, so I would give everybody a chance to get a cookie, and with their permission of their parents. And I want you to take a bite of that cookie and see what happens.
I did.
Tell me.
It's hollow.
It's hollow. Hello, hollow. It's hollow.
Yeah.
Why do you think our Easter story cookie is hollow, Erin? What do you think that represents?
After, right when I took a bite. I think it's hollow because it represents the tomb that Jesus was in. And when they opened it up, it was empty. It's hollow.
The tomb. Boom! Mind blown. Mind blown. The tomb was empty. Wow. That just blew my mind away. And you know what? Jesus' followers didn't know what to make of it. Let me read you the story. When they opened the tomb and they found it empty, what do you think they felt?
I bet they felt kind of scared.
Right? Like, who took our Jesus? Where is Jesus? Well, let me read you the rest of the Easter story, boys and girls. Okay, this is Matthew chapter 28, verses 1 through 9. After the Sabbath, as Sunday morning was dawning, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to look at the tomb. Suddenly, there was a violent earthquake, and an angel of the Lord came down from heaven, rolled away the stone, and sat on it. His appearance was like lightning, and his clothes were white as snow. The guards were afraid, and they trembled. The angel spoke to the woman. "You must not be afraid," he said. "I know who you're looking for. You're looking for Jesus, who was crucified, but he's not here. He has been raised, just as he said. Come here and see the place where he was lying. Go quickly now and tell his disciples. He has been raised from the dead, and now he is going to Galilee ahead of you. There you will see him. Remember what I told you." And so they left the tomb in a hurry, afraid and yet filled with joy, and ran to tell the disciples. Do you want to read the last little part?
All right. Suddenly Jesus met them and said, "Peace be with you." They came up to him and took hold of his feet and worshipped him. "Do not be afraid," Jesus said to them. "Go and tell my brothers to go to Galilee, and there they will see me."
Peace be with you. He's raised. He's raised from the dead. So that is a good ending, isn't it?
It is.
A good ending. And was it delicious to eat my Easter story?
It was a good ending in the Bible and a good ending for me because I got to eat.
Boys and girls, I wish you from the bottom of my heart, I wish you a happy Easter. I hope you either had fun watching this or maybe doing this. We're going to post a link to the Easter cookie story so that you'll have it. So maybe you can do it with your family or even watch it. And I hope that we're absolutely able to get together again and see you soon, right? Until then, we'll have a cookie. Until then, I should say, bon appetit! That's a very great, bon appetit! Bye, boys and girls.